I only made the shift into becoming magnetic when I realized that nobody can take away what's meant for you, so all you need to do is relax and receive. So you want to learn how to become more magnetic to attract better opportunities, better relationships, to find your specific person, and to find success. Better everything, basically. And it's not wrong to want things, by the way. It's a very human and natural impulse. However, it also reveals that you're living a life where you don't actually have the thing that you want yet. So that's the very first thing that we need to work on. We need to align ourselves with our desires. And we're all magnetic beings. And with magnets, one end attracts and one end repels, right? So if you find yourself unintentionally repelling something that you want, then we need to switch up the poles. The biggest thing that you need to know about attraction of any kind is that you will attract what you allow. So if you want something, are you actually allowing it to happen? Or are you following up that thought with like, oh, I don't think I actually deserve it. I don't think I'm worthy enough. In life, we get what we deserve. So if we don't, it means that there's something that's blocking us from receiving it. And the brutal truth is, most of the time that blockage is ourselves. You really need to believe that you deserve whatever you desire, because that is the first step to allowing it in. Because if you don't think that you deserve it, that you won't do the work to allow it in, you won't be open to opportunities because you don't think it suits you, you don't think you're ready for it. So the whole point of this video is to rewire your brain and get you there. It's like if you have a negative friend who's always complaining about being unlucky and you're always getting into bad situations and meeting bad people and getting bad energy, like their day is always going wrong for some reason, and then maybe even low-key I'm describing some of you. But then you have another friend who's always happy, always meeting amazing people, constantly getting raises and promotions at their job, and just having amazing opportunities constantly falling on their lap. And this is not a coincidence, guys. This is not some big secret that all the successful people in the world are gatekeeping from you. And I actually just learned the same from reading a book called The Organized Brain. And this is called the reticular activating system. And it's so funny to me because this is also how manifestation works. It just goes to show that everything is connected. So basically, that's the filter in your brain figuring out what to do with everything that you're seeing and hearing and feeling and so on, and trying to make sense of it. And it figures out what's important to you. And this is why you don't remember 90% of everything going on that you ever experienced in your life, because your brain doesn't think that it's important enough for you to remember it. This means that you can actually train your brain to tune out things like traffic noises, but then if someone calls your name, you can actually hear that. It's very automatic. Most of us are not even aware of this, but the beauty is you can train it. You need to tell your brain what's important to you and what to focus on. But whether we realize it or not, in life, we see what we want to see. So the way that we rewire our minds to attract better things in our lives is basically our own reticular activating systems working to confirm your own point of view. So this is all about who you think you are, your I am language. For example, I am lucky versus I am not lucky. So it always starts with what you believe in your mind to be true, and then your reticular activating system will go out there and confirm that in your world, so that you start to see things that confirm that you are indeed lucky, you are indeed attractive, whatever you think you are, that you deserve good things and happiness. So start getting used to things going your way. Even if it's not at the moment, you need to relax into that. And I don't even care what happened to you in the past. Leave that in the past, because you need to focus on what's happening to you right now. You're creating a new version of you that attracts success, and your new normal is that you're constantly winning. What you want wants you back even more. So if you're new here and you can't tell yet, my channel is all about finding success and improving our lives, whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual, and I'm all about becoming a better version of myself compared to yesterday. And I want the same for you. So if every single person is naturally magnetic and like attracts like, that means you need to make sure that you are the person in the world that you love the most. And that is literally how you become even more magnetic. You need to be endlessly inspired by yourself and become your own muse. I know this can sound narcissistic, but it's not. To me, self-love is the key to unlocking so many things in life, including love from other people. There's a spidey sense in all of us where we can intuitively feel when someone genuinely loves themselves and really think that they're amazing and deserving, versus someone who doesn't think that way. So think about all of the people in your life and you will know that it's true. In order to become your own muse, you need to become the most inspiring and amazing and honorable person in your own life, to the point where there's no way anyone else can tell you otherwise. There's no one out there who can say that you're not all that, because you just are. You are all that, and that is the truth. Anything else is a lie. You need to love yourself to the point where you feel so intensely empowered passionately about it and become the most intense and passionate version of yourself. And once you can express that into the world, you become so dangerous. This is the entire secret to seducing anyone and anything, and you are the only person who can define that, and only you can define what you're worth. And this is a blank page. That means this is completely up to you. And when you can actually show up in your life with that amount of self-worth that you think you deserve, then other people and other opportunities will also find you worthy of it. Some of you may ask, what if I don't feel deserving of something? And honestly, I struggled a lot with that in the past. And I can honestly tell you that this is a part of the inner work that is necessary for you to do in order to grow as a person, so that you can become more deserving of opportunities. Because maybe it comes from our childhoods, maybe it's something that happened to you in the past that made you feel that way. And I can't tell you exactly what that looks like for you specifically, but I can tell you that you can heal this with therapy. BetterHelp, which is the sponsor of today's video, is on a mission to making starting therapy easier. Everyone has something that's holding them back, including myself. But with therapy, you are giving yourself the opportunity to solve the mysteries of why certain things in your life are bothering you and how you can move past it. I still remember something my therapist told me years ago, that instead of thinking about all the potential that I'm wasting and feeling burnt out about it, I should instead define my rock bottom so that I can learn to distance myself from it and rise above. And it was also through therapy that I was able to set healthy boundaries with toxic situations without feeling guilty about it, because I was doing what was best for me. Starting BetterHelp is easy. Just fill out the questionnaire on the website and the platform will match you up with the right therapist for you in as little as a couple of days. If you can't find the right therapist for you the first time, you can easily switch to a different therapist until you find a better match. BetterHelp provides online therapy that works with your schedule and how you want to communicate, whether that's through video chat, calls, or text, and it's more affordable and easier on your schedule than going into in-office therapy sessions. Remember, you get to rewrite your story at any time, so start fresh any day of the year with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/MayLSuzuki and get 10% off your first month of therapy. I've always believed that things like beauty and charisma is not an objective thing. Society can show us beauty standards and what's considered attractive and beauty trends and all that, but there isn't one singular truth to that. Like, for example, this person is the most objectively beautiful, or that person is the most charismatic person ever. Everyone has different opinions about this because, for example, one person might think that I'm charismatic and then another person might think that I'm annoying and cringy, and it's very subjective, but it's also always an energy first and foremost. Ultimately, the way that you feel about yourself can change the way that you show up, the way you carry yourself, and yes, even the way that you look physically. And this is why I'm so obsessed with things like daily habits and rituals and little things that we do that's not just about getting a glow up, but it actually changes our energy. Like, for example, I learned how to give myself a blowout recently, and I feel next level attractive. Even though people might think that I look the same before and after, I feel different. And energy is everything. When you can move through the world with the energy of someone who feels beautiful, you become beautiful. Not just in an outward, external way, but in a deeply compelling and very charismatic way. And it's undeniable and it's unforgettable. The key is you can actually shift your energy into becoming more beautiful and charismatic by being comfortable with yourself. Like, you can actually feel at home with your body, like it's actually a home and not a house. So when you can allow yourself to feel more deserving of better things, you will instantly experience like an energy shift. On the other hand, if you're not comfortable with yourself, you're not constantly thinking that everyone and everything else is better than you, and you feel insecure and desperate to win over other people's affection and their attention, and you're always trying to control everything, that is not magnetic energy. It's the opposite. It's actually repelling energy and it's actually negative. This is why people say attract, don't chase, because overthinking and caring too much about other people and what they think can actually have the opposite effect of what you want. And even myself, like, I was stuck in this energy for so long. I was even wondering, like, why does everyone not like me? I used to try so hard to make people happy, but in a weird way, that's actually not how the world works. Like, just because I try so hard doesn't mean I'll get what I want in the end. I only made the shift into becoming magnetic when I realized that nobody can take away what's meant for you, so all you need to do is relax and receive. So now I light up any room that I walk into and cause a vibe shift. At least I think so, because I know that the way I move is intentional and conscious, and I cultivated my presence from all the inner work that I've done, and it really adds to me becoming really just all there in the moment and fully present. Like, when I step into that room, I am fully in that room, and I make people feel comfortable because I am comfortable with who I am, and so I can share that energy with other people. So for me, Usually that's making a good amount of eye contact, although sometimes I do get very intense and I stare too much. But generally, I like to look at people right underneath their eyes so that it's not too intense. I also actively listen to every word that people are saying, and basically because I'm listening, I also subconsciously start mirroring them, their body language. And generally, I'm just being very positive and not necessarily agreeing with everything though, because that brings us to people pleasing territory, which is not great. We all should have opinions that we feel strongly about, and we should be real about it and feel comfortable enough to express that. But in general, having a strong sense of self helps a ton with having that type of energy that can attract. Obviously, that's not something that's going to be consistent all the time, but it all comes from being in your own presence enough that you can also extend that towards other people, so that when you enter a room, you can look around, look straight, and imagine yourself shifting your energy and also shifting your body language into becoming more open instead of down and shrinking inwards. Make sure that when you enter a room that you have your shoulders back and you can actually move in a way that makes you feel good and confident, even if you don't feel confident. You can choose to shift that energy. And as a feminine woman, I like to lean into that femininity, such as I can when I walk, I can sway a little bit. It makes me feel good about myself. And for men, maybe that looks like, a good strong posture and just chest open. And for everyone, maybe wearing something that makes you feel comfortable, because I will not feel comfortable if I'm wearing 7-inch stilettos, for example. Attractiveness and magnetism almost always come from feeling good and having that energy radiate outward. And people are naturally drawn to positive energy. So if you're feeling good and having fun, it will always come out and you can always express that. So how do you actually align yourself with your desires? You should embody it and become the type of person who deserves it. When it comes to embodiment, I always think about the famous Marilyn Monroe story where she was walking on the street and nobody recognized her. She was just being her old self, average Norma Jean. And she turned to her friend and she said, "Do you want to see me become her?" And her friend said yes. So then Marilyn just turned something on with her energy and it was magical. Cars started to slow down, people started to recognize her, and it was just amazing. It was night and day. You can just simply decide to become her and you will. Although I think one pitfall is people will think that they can deserve something without actually doing anything, which isn't completely true. Norma Jean, for example, wouldn't be able to bring out Marilyn Monroe if she didn't know who Marilyn Monroe is. She knew what it took to become Marilyn Monroe. So same goes for, for example, I can't be here thinking that I deserve to be a lawyer, but yet I never went to law school. I don't know anything about becoming a lawyer. You can't just charm yourself into becoming a lawyer, right? And this is the same thing where if you're looking for a better opportunity and the town that you live in just has no jobs for you, or if you're looking for love but the dating pool in your hometown is just terrible, then you have to move to a different place that has those opportunities for you. And that's how you align yourself with what you want. You need to go to where the opportunities are and become the type of person who deserves that opportunity. And it's a bit trickier with relationships because, again, you don't want to become a people pleaser and start chasing them, but you want to become so yourself that people are just attracted to you because of who you are and not what you can do for them. That's how you can weed out people who are not meant for you so that the right people who are actually for you can find you. And embodiment is all about the preparation work. That's the day-to-day work, the habits, the studying, the therapy sessions. All of that is the work that you do to become the person who is the more attractive and magnetic version of yourself, so that one day when the opportunity hits, you can actually be ready to go all in and receive it. And it will become effortless because you are that person who is the most deserving of the opportunity, and like attracts like. So the more you prepare and embody and accept those opportunities as they come, the bigger and better opportunities will then follow on after that. At the same time, if something isn't quite right or not exactly a good fit for you, then you must always believe that you can find something better. And remember that nobody can take away what's meant for you, so don't stress about it and just trust that it will come to you because you are ready for it and you are allowing your life to flow in perfect timing. Guys, I want you to comment this. I am a magnet for abundance, so I know that you watched the whole video and reached the end because you deserve a trophy for that. As always, I hope this was helpful to you. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.